Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. So we are going on a road trip today with the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E here. And so we got a little short day road trip for us planned ahead. So we're going to go just a few hours from here in Myrtle Beach up to Raleigh, North Carolina. And we have a couple things in store for today. But most importantly, we have the opportunity to plug this into a supercharger, and not a supercharger with a magic dock, because we have officially the Ford J3400 to CCS1 adapter. So we're going to give that a shot today as well on our trip and see how well it all goes. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to this video, and we'll see how the day goes. Alright, well, you join me in the garage here with our 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Standard range, if you're not familiar with the channel or haven't followed us in the past, this is our 21 Ford Mustang Mach-E standard range premium trim rear-wheel drive, so the very efficient version of this car. And we're going on a little bit of a day road trip today. So we're going about three and a half hours from here in Myrtle Beach up to Raleigh, North Carolina. And we're taking the Mach-E because we love this for road trips. And now it's getting even better with the inclusion of Tesla Supercharger network with this vehicle. So we just got our adapter about a week and a half ago, and we are really looking forward to using it today. As you can see, we are topping off the battery right now. I think we are at like 99%, and we are just basically getting it all topped off for the trip today. It hasn't been top charged in quite a while. We almost had it top charged in December when we took this up to New Jersey. But we didn't really quite get it top charged. It was like 99%, kind of like it is right now, and it kind of sat there for a while just top charging. So hopefully, this says it'll be done by 7:14 a.m. It's currently 7:02, so we're not looking to leave for probably another 20 or 30 minutes. So hopefully this will hit 100%. And as you can see, we have 262 miles of indicated range at 99%, which is crazy because I think EPA on this car was about 230, if I'm not mistaken. So really good that this car is pulling so much indicated range here. Now obviously this will go down a little bit depending on how we drive, the air conditioning. We are going to the North Carolina Museum of of Natural Sciences, thank you. And it says we're going to get there in about 3 hours, which is pretty amazing that it's only 3 hours away, considering that we don't have very many major highways here, let's just say. We have to stop at a supercharger, and it's telling us we can get all the way there without stopping and be there with 33%. The range in this car, being the small battery pack, is absolutely bonkers. Honestly, it's just amazing how well this car road trips. Like when they say EPA range is 230, they mean 230 pretty much on the highway, doing like 70 miles an hour. That's what they mean by 230. It's amazing how well this car actually holds up when it comes to its stated range or its claimed range, you know? So yeah, so we have some things to do today, and what I want to do is try to see if that Tesla Supercharger comes up on the map here, and we'll see if it does. It should be right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's see if it comes up. Should be right around here, and I don't see it popping up, and it might be because, I don't know, maybe it's looking for stuff. Yeah, and so no big deal. What we're going to do is we're going to manually put it in because that's just the way it is. Actually, let's see if we have any filters here. Ford network. I mean, I guess we could turn on the Ford network, but that's just going to limit more. So I keep those off half the time. Yeah, every once in a while we will get a Tesla Supercharger in here, but for some reason it doesn't come up very much. Maybe I'm missing a filter, but I've gone through this a couple times and I cannot for the life of me find where I need to enable superchargers. It comes up on my phone in the Ford app perfectly fine, but not really here. So not really sure what that's all about. But either way, I just so happen to have the address saved, and we shall go directly there first. So let's go ahead and say select, and it's going to put that in first, which is what we want. And yeah, so there we go. So we are going to head up there, stop at that Supercharger, and then we will see how testing this with the adapter goes. And then we'll shoot up into Raleigh. We're going to be hanging around Raleigh for a little bit today, and then we'll be heading back home in the afternoon. So make sure you join us and stay tuned, and we'll see how this day goes. And I'll probably shoot a completely separate video on the actual charging with the adapter, and I'll make sure I link that to this video as well. So anyway, yeah, join us in the car when we're ready to leave, as we sit at 99%. All right, well, I was walking out to the garage, just heard the EVSE click on the wall, so it has shut off. As we can see, the lights are now off on the vehicle itself. So let's go ahead, unplug this, close this door. Ah, I hate this flap. There we go. Throw this back to our holster, and we are set out on the road shortly. All right, well, we are in the car ready to go. It's about 7:24 in the morning here. I don't know why it keeps picking your profile when I get in the car. I think it's because my phone as a key is working weird. But we are ready to go. We have 100% state of charge. We finally got this up to 100% after a couple attempts here. And, but yeah, charger clicked off. We're at 100%. It says we're now at 187 miles of range. So it has dipped down, but maybe that'll change as we start driving, as it usually does with the Mach-E, because it's usually very efficient. And we have to stop at that Supercharger, which says it's at, let's see, where is it? It wants us to stop at Electrify America. No, we're going to the Supercharger. In fact, I might actually just put that in and be like, that's where we're going. But anyway, we are going onto the road right now, and I'll adjust this as we start driving, and we'll see you when, well, we'll see you when we update you. Alright, had a little bit of a change of plans here, so we actually just adjusted to a different Supercharger today. So we're actually going up to like Knightsdale or something like that. So this is where we need to go now, over here. And when we put it in there, it just said, okay, you could go all the way there without stopping. So that's what we're going to do. So it says we're going to get there with about 21% state of charge right now, which is plenty. And yeah, we'll go ahead and go over there, plug in, and yeah, that's it. So we don't have to stop at all between here and Raleigh, North Carolina. So that's really good to see. So we'll be there in just a little over 2 hours and 45 minutes here. And we'll get this thing plugged into a Supercharger with an adapter for the first time. So looking forward to it. And also, as we cruise along with Blue Cruise hands-free here, which I'm still waiting for the update. Ford, could you please process this update so we can get it in our 2021 Mach-E's, please? Thank you very much. But as you can see, our estimated range has now increased quite a bit to 213 miles. So as you saw before, as we were charging, it was like 260. Once we unplugged the car and got into it and turned on the air conditioning, it dropped to like 180 something, I think it was. Now we're back up to 213 as we are cruising down the highway. So we have 213 miles of range, 166 miles of range, or 166 miles to our stop at the Supercharger. And yeah, things are looking good. It's already pretty warm outside, 77 degrees at 7:30 in the morning. So yeah, it's going to be a warm day today. They're talking like 95, 96 in Raleigh in the city. So yeah, it's going to be hot today. So here we are about 31 miles into this trip, and we are now calculating about 198 miles left of range on the Mach-E. I think we're getting more miles as we drive along here, but this is mostly slower back roads. We're seeing a lot of, you know, 40, 50, 60 mile an hour roads, so really nothing crazy here. And still very foggy outside, so hopefully we'll cut through this fog eventually when we get to 95 north. So when we get on the highway, hopefully things will be a little more cleared up. But overall, things have been moving pretty good. Like I said, our range is great because of the slow speeds right now. And yeah, we'll be getting to the Charger with a little bit more than I was wanting to, but that's okay. But yeah, we'll see you when we get on the highway. Alright, well, we just got onto 74 westbound for about, there's like 11 or 12 miles before we get to 95 north. So we are finally on a proper highway here. Looks like we got a cop in the left shoulder here, so, or the right shoulder, whatever you want to call it. So we'll just get over for them. So yeah, we are cruising along right now. We're still projecting we have 181 miles of range in the battery at 124 miles to get to the Supercharger, the new Supercharger, not the one that we initially talked about. And let's see, we are doing over 4 miles per kilowatt hour right now. Been driving for an hour and 10 minutes at 54 miles of range accomplished already. So really good efficiencies, mostly due to the slower speeds. The sun has been peeking out, but it's been really cloudy today, really foggy. And yeah, so this is just what we're doing now for the next couple hours, is just chilling on some highways to get us up to Raleigh, North Carolina. We've never been there before, so it'll be a first for us. And do a couple things today, and then we'll be heading home. And that's about it.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right, well, we'll see you in a little bit. Have just ticked over to 50% state of charge. As you can see here, we are 120 miles into this trip on 50% state of charge. Wow, that is fantastic. So, you know, projecting 230 miles, give or take, on a full battery pack on this car. We hit 19,000 miles today on it as well, so there should be some battery degradation at this point as well. So still amazing road tripping car, even with the small battery pack the Mach-E is. Really loving it. Weather's been pretty nice. Starting to get warm outside now, already 84 degrees, so we are definitely going to be in for some hot weather today, so the AC will be cranking very soon. All right, made it to the Nightdale Supercharger here. Just about 3 hours exactly, 175 miles, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So pretty good, 27% state of charge. So let's get this plugged into a supercharger. As you can see, we are here. We got these really nice pull installs here. It was almost like they were made for us. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and give this a shot and see how the charging goes. All right, so we have the Ford Tesla, or J3400 is the proper name for it now, to CCS adapter. So let's go ahead, we're gonna power off the car. Let's go ahead and run around to the superchargers that we pulled in here and see how well this thing does. So yeah, over here in Nightdale, North Carolina. So we're at a version 3 supercharger that is compatible with NACS or Ford vehicles or any other vehicle that supports the CCS. So we have the adapter here. So what we're gonna be doing is taking just the standard version 3 handle here. We're gonna be plugging this into the adapter so it locks into the adapter. And we're gonna go ahead and plug it into our Mach-E. And let's see, heard a click. I heard the latch come down. We got a blue light here. So that should be connecting with plug-in charge, because plug-in charge is capable on this vehicle. We've tried it before. I'm hearing the fan spooling up here. Are we not charging? No, it looks like we got red lights here. Oh, now we're back to blue. Something's going on here. This is weird. All right, let's try to unplug and plug it back in. Let's hit this button, cancel the charge. All right, that went in a little smoother that time, so maybe it was just a little tight going in the first time. And let's see what happens here. Will we get communication? Because we should see this charging light blinking here. That's usually the indicator that it is charging. I'm not seeing it. Now, it did say that there was a fault in the charging station that prevented us from charging, which is weird. So let's hope this adapter is not defective, because that's going to be kind of silly. And we are not charging. All right, so why don't we do this then? Let's do it one more time. Hit that, unlock, unlock. Let's pull this out. Looks okay. Let's go ahead and plug it back in here. Give this one more shot. If this doesn't work, I'm going to try to manually do it from the app. Plug and charge should be working, but maybe it's just not set up for this station yet. It's not working. All right, so let's try to manually enable the charging session here. So we are at 2D, so we can look at the stall here. And so what I'm gonna do here in the app is I'm just gonna go and find 2D. We're gonna hit 2D and we're gonna say start charging. So let's see if this kicks it off. Oh, actually, wait a minute, we are charging. It just started charging.
It just started flashing, yeah.
So I don't know if that was from me hitting the button. I think it was blinking before I hit the button. Okay, so it took a couple tries, but we did eventually get it to go. All right, so here actually in the Tesla app, we can actually see our charging session. So maybe me starting it from the app is what actually did it. So we can see we're at 28% state of charge. We're already up to 95 kilowatt, which is pretty good. This car only peaks out at about 120 or so, 125 maybe at the max. So we're really not expecting to see a lot of charging rate here today because of, just because of the limitation of the vehicle itself. But 107 is what we're sitting at, about 29%, which is pretty good for this car. But yeah, so we are pulled in. We are charging with our new J3400 to CCS adapter from Ford. And yeah, this is great to have in our arsenal because, this is going to open up a lot more for road tripping whenever we go on the road trip, since we do love, this Mach-E so much for road tripping. So cool to see something other than a Tesla at a Tesla Supercharger, especially one without a magic dock. Really interesting thing to see. Wonder if the Tesla community is okay with this or what, but yeah, looking good. We'll see how the charging's going. All right, so sitting in the parking lot of the Lowe's here at the Tesla Supercharger, really awesome. Version 3 here, obviously, that's the only way we can plug in. Unfortunately, our plug-in charge didn't seem to work. I had to open up the Tesla app and launch it from there, but I mean, either way, it is what it is. It's no big deal to open up an app occasionally. I know plug-in charge works on this car because we did use it at a Magic Dock Supercharger in the past. So I know the plug-in charge is set up on this car, but either way, no big deal. So after we leave here, we're going to charge up for a little bit longer here. We're actually at 75%. I'm still waiting for somebody to meet up with me to sell them something real quick, and then we're just going to shoot across around Raleigh here and go to this DeFara Pizza Tavern, is where we're meeting a friend of ours to get some lunch. So it looks like we have a pretty short ride over there, about 23 miles, 26 minutes according to this. And yeah, so we'll be leaving here in a few minutes to head in that direction. So not too bad. But yeah, overall, charging up really fast. I would say probably as good or better than a like Electrify America or whatever. And yeah, good experience so far. So yeah, let's just get this car charged up and then we'll be on the road again. All right, well, we are at 86% state of charge. Really no reason for us to stay here any longer. All my business is done, so let's go ahead and get this taken out. So what we do here is we hit this button here to stop the charge. We'll see this go around. We could then pull this down like that, pull this out from the vehicle, a little bit tight since it's brand new. And then we have this little lever here that we have to push down to get the adapter out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, there we go. All right, well, we are finished up with our adapter here. I'm gonna have the video out on this. Well, actually, I'll probably have the video out for the adapter before this trip. So make sure you look up in the corner. I'll put a link up there and I'll put it down in the description as well for the Ford J3400 to CCS adapter. So it worked out really well for us. Very happy with it, so let's get it back on the road here and get some lunch because I'm starting to get a little hungry. So here you go, and we'll see you on the road. Alright, so we are heading over to Cary, North Carolina now for lunch, meeting up with a friend of ours. And yeah, so a funny thing happened. We were at the Charger. You know, we pull up with a Mach-E and a lot of people are like staring at us like, these people don't know what they're doing, you know? And then we jump out, we plug in. I think everybody kind of realized, oh, okay, never mind. They know what they're doing. But the funny thing was, is shortly after we pulled in, there was a woman there who pulled in with a BMW, like an electric, I don't know what it was, like an i5 or something, but an electric one. And I thought that was really weird. She pulled in like right next to us. And I couldn't imagine what it could be other than maybe it was like a BMW, like a test vehicle, since the BMW plant is only a few hours from here. I'm thinking maybe it was like a test vehicle. I don't know. I was just throwing ideas at the wall since we were in the middle of shooting the video for the adapter. And after we had finished, you know, shooting the video, she kind of came up to us. She goes, this is a loaner car. It's a car that I have. She goes, I'm at 8%. She goes, I don't know where to charge. She's like, I tried those other chargers over there, which she was pointing to some level 2 chargers, and she's like, they didn't work. And I was like, ugh. And like, so I pulled out PlugShare on my phone, and I was like, I'm assuming you're looking for something fast, right? You don't want to sit there for hours, right? She's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, the closest thing to her was, or from where we were, was this GMC dealership that had a Blink DC fast charger, and it was like 5 miles away. And I'm like, that's your best bet at this point, because it's, with the limited range you have, you really can't get anywhere else. So like, this is it. And so she was off to the dealership, and then she said something like, will they allow me to charge there? And I'm like, yeah, they'll allow you to charge there. They won't throw you out. But yeah, it's just, we were just discussing a little bit about like
the change in your mentality when you have an electric car is because, you know, normally when you drive a gas car is like you come home, you park the car, you go back in the car again later on, you drive around, oh, I'm low on gas, let me go stop at the gas station for 5 or 10 minutes, and you fill back up and you go. And like the mentality of when you drive an electric car and you can charge at home, which is what makes the most sense, is a difficult thing, I think, to get used to, right? Like you come home, park your car and plug it in order to refuel it, and not like wait till you're starting to get low and then public charge it, you know? And so just thinking about that, like you do have to kind of flip a switch for you to be like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to charge it in public. But if I have to, it's really only in a case of an emergency, you know, or a road trip or whatever the case may be, when you're not within the distance of your house. Like, so it was kind of interesting to see that dynamic. Like maybe she has a way to plug at home, even if it's a 120 volt plug. Maybe she just wasn't thinking that. She just was borrowing this car for a few days and then realized, oh, I'm getting low. Where do I need to stop? And then, you know, that kind of flip switches. The switch flips and says, oh crap, what do I do?
Yeah, like I'm in a low state of charge and I need to charge.
Yeah, and she ended up at a Tesla Supercharger, which out of all the places she could have ended up, that was the worst one. Yeah. And here we are with an adapter that would technically work with her car. Yeah. Just thought it was an interesting thing to bring up. Like, so for my audience out here that's watching this, like, when you first got an electric car, if you got an electric car, did it take you some time to get used to the whole, oh yeah, that's right, I have to plug in at home and not necessarily when I get low and I'm out someplace and I need it, you know? Just curious, leave in the comments what you think about that, because I'm curious to hear, you know, if your brain has to change the process in which you refuel your car, and how long did that take for it to happen? Because I don't know, I don't recall having that moment.
Where your brain had this switch?
Yeah, I don't remember having to think about that. So maybe, but that's because also we had other cars.
Yeah,
we had gas cars. Yeah. So maybe like worst case scenario was we would just be home and we would plug the electric car in and take a gas car. Yeah. You know, maybe it didn't work. But some people who have one car and then they switch to an electric vehicle, I wonder if that dynamic is a little harder to grasp onto. Plus, you know, we were used to this. This is kind of something we wanted to do. It wasn't some, like, for her, it was just kind of like dumped on her. It sounded like she was just like, I just got this loaner car, and it's like, oh crap, like, I don't know what to tell you there. So I tried to help her as much as I could, but just a little ashamed that she probably didn't get better direction from the dealership. I assume it was a BMW dealership that probably said, here's a loaner car, good luck. And that was it. I did ask her if she had PlugShare on her phone. She said yes, but maybe she doesn't know how to use PlugShare, or maybe she doesn't understand the difference between a level 2 charger and a DC fast charger. Yeah. So I think just the knowledge is just not quite there yet.
It's a possibility
for a lot of people, especially if they're not ready to do it. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up. I thought it was kind of an interesting dynamic conversation that we had there with this woman, and hopefully she made it to the charger.
I hope so.
All right, well, we'll see you in a little bit. Got a really nice lunch at this DeFara Pizza Tavern. Really nice place here in Cary, North Carolina. Really filling too.
Yes, it was delicious.
Oh yeah, really good pizza. All right, so now we are going to head over to the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, right?
I think so.
North Carolina Museum of, I think that's it right there. There it is. All right. Looks like we're about 12 miles away. Let's get on the road. right, just finished up at the museum here, and it's actually a much bigger museum than we thought it was.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 different buildings,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take like a walkway across the buildings, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting. So really nice here in Raleigh, North Carolina. First time for us here. So, but we got to get back on the road. We do have to get home, and so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and throw in our address here. Now the weird thing is that we got to the charger at 70 with 75%, so there's 25% state of charge left when we got to the charger. We have 73 right now, so we will be ever so slightly short to get home on what we have left. So I think what we're gonna have to do, especially now that it's a lot warmer outside, so I think we're gonna have to probably stop. So let's take a look and see what this says. All right, so it looks like it wants us to stop at this Electrify America, but I think we might just put in another supercharger. So I might look for another supercharger and just put that in and see how far we could get. Let me take a look real quick. All right, so we've gone ahead. I threw in a supercharger that's not too far away. We could go all the way down to like Lumberton for a supercharger, which would get us closer to home. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to drive this stretch right here down to what is Benson, North Carolina, which is just as we intersect with 95. So I think that's going to be a pretty easy one to get off and then get back on again, whereas Lumberton could be a little bit of a pain sometimes, though I haven't been to the supercharger there. I think Lumberton's somewhere around in this area. But yeah, so I think we're just going to do that. We're just going to run down here. It says we're going to get there with 55%. We'll just plug in for a little bit, use the restrooms, whatever, jump back in the car, and then that'll give us enough to get home. So we're not looking for a really long charge here, maybe 5 minutes at the most, and then we'll kind of go from there. In the meantime, let's go ahead. I'm going to reset trip 1 here so we can track it on the way back, since I forgot to do that on the way here, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, let's get going. Got to Benson, North Carolina here. We're at 58% state of charge. Couldn't burn it off enough, but we're going to be here to test one more of these charging things. I might have to move up just a little bit here. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to move up. Let's see. Go ahead and grab that. Lift it up and pull it out. There you go. Does that reach? Maybe a little tight. Let's move up a few inches. All right, I think we're good now. So go ahead and put that into the adapter like so. Perfectly, it snaps in. Open up the flap. Go ahead and put that DC charge. Nope, puts down. Boop, like so. And then line that up. A little tight going in, but that's okay. There we go. And so now plug and charge should work. Let's see if it does. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to look into this, because plug and charge does work with Tesla Superchargers. Nope, we have a flashing light. Good. So plug and charge did work this time. So just kind of clarifying what I was looking at before when we were having issues at that last charger. Maybe there was an issue with that particular charger at that station, or maybe it's just something weird with the way my car was communicating at that point in time. Who knows? But either way, right now it is working perfectly fine. So this
J3400 to CCS adapter seems to be working great today. Second time today using it. Nice charger here in the back of a, looks like a Hampton Inn here, which is great. One of my favorite hotels. Looks like it's a big up and coming place right here, right off of 95 as well. All right, sitting at a Supercharger. We got a refreshed Model 3 over here, really cool looking in white. Very nice. Still charging up the Mach-E. We are at 74%. We'll probably just get to 80 and then unplug, because that's where it just bloop, just dips right down with the charging curve here. It still says that we have to stop at this Electrify America, but we're not going to because there's no reason to. I'll just recalculate this once we're done charging and we should be good to go. But other than that, we had a really good time getting the car charging on these version 3 Superchargers today. We did it twice at 2 different stations. Seems to work pretty good, though we had an issue with that plug-in charge at one station. That's not a fault of the adapter, and I do not believe it's a fault of the car. It could be just the way the charger was communicating back to Tesla or possibly Ford at that point, because when you use plug-in charge, you actually pay for it through the Ford app, not through the Tesla app. So that's kind of one way you could differentiate how you're charged. But yeah, so this case, plug and charge works, so the Ford app is going to charge me, whereas before we activated it through the Tesla app, so the Tesla app is going to charge me. Either way, it comes out to be about the same price, I believe, just yeah, just a different way of getting there, basically. But yeah, really nice location here. Looks like it's just being built up. And yeah, so we're just going to be here for a few more minutes, and then we'll be out on the road. Pulled away from that Supercharger just maybe a tick too fast, because now it's saying that we only have 130 miles of range and 143 miles to get home. So we might just have to kind of cruise at the speed limit for a little bit, I think. I think we could definitely make up that number, but looks like we also have some traffic coming up according to this. So it looks like we'll be doing some slower speeds anyway. So at this point, I think we just go for it, and the absolute worst case scenario is we can always stop when we get to Lumberton. Lumberton's only about 80 miles or so from home, and I'll know a much better idea at that point whether or not we'll need to stop. And then we can just stop at Lumberton and charge up for another few minutes. But I don't think so. I think we're good. It is 100 degrees outside, just want to point that out right now. So the HVAC system is working a bit more than it was this morning, which is why we were able to get all the way to Raleigh on 75%, which is why we were able to get to Raleigh with 75% of our battery. So we got there with about 25%. But now, even with over 80% when we left, and we weren't even close to Raleigh, we were actually 30 miles away from Raleigh, it's now saying that we're not going to make it home. So definitely weather has a lot to play in this factor. And we're just going to see if we can make up that difference. So right now we have a 13-mile difference. I've made up a lot more in this car, so I know we can do it. But we'll see as we get closer, and we'll keep you up to date. Just like that, not too long later, we now have a 5-mile deficit on the odometer there for our range. So don't mind that yelling at me to watch the road. All right, I got my hands on the wheel. So yeah, just like that, we now have a 5-mile deficit instead of the 12 or whatever it was before, which is awesome to see. So we are going to be good to go. We are now going a little faster than we were, so I have no concerns whatsoever about range.
mileage in the battery and mileage to home. So we are not stopping. Just as we pass the Lumberton, North Carolina exit here, we get even Stevens on that. In fact, right over here somewhere, yep, there's the Walmart. You can maybe see it off in the distance. There is where the Electrify America stations are. Not sure where the Tesla Superchargers are in Lumberton, but I know there is a set somewhere. But we have done it. It's going to go back and forth for a little bit here, but we have done it, and now we are going to go home. So only about an hour and 42 minutes according to this. So, yep. The Mach-E has done it again, impressed me with its efficiency. Well, we are cruising on 74 eastbound now because this is the last highway we get until pretty much we get home, other than one last stretch on 31, as it were. And so we're getting off at the Chadburn exit here in just a moment. As you can see, I kept trying to recalculate a little bit, and now we have a huge buffer, according to this, about 15 miles. And yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at now. So we're going to be getting off, going a lot slower. Efficiencies are going to go up. And yeah, we'll be in good shape. We're going to have plenty to get home. I'm going to take a guess and say we're going to get home with 9%. That's my guess. Would you like to take a guess? 6%. All right, we have 9, we have 6. Let's see what we do. And let's get off this next exit. We're down to the warning of driving range low, which is a customizable, but I have it set for 50 miles of range indicated left to let me know that we're got that low indicator there. So yep, but it says we have 50 miles of range left and 29 miles to our house, so we are plenty good. We'll just have to see what the number is when we get home. And yeah, only about another half an hour and then we'll be pulling in the driveway. Overall, it's been a pretty good day, not too much traffic at all, and it's been pretty beautiful. It's down to a brisk 90 degrees now, so we're no longer up at that 100-degree mark, but yeah, it's been nice otherwise. The cabin's been nice and cool, keeping at a moderate temperature. Let's see, I'm on 70, 68 on the passenger side, so nothing crazy. And yeah, our efficiencies have been looking really good. We're just going to finish up this trip, and then we'll get back to you. All right, our trip coming home just a little over 3 hours here, 13 minutes, 173 miles at 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Once again, we conserved a little bit while we were driving, did the speed limit for a little bit. And as you can see, our climate usage wasn't too bad considering, you know, the whole thing there. So there's our efficiencies there. And what did we have for our leftover percentage? Was it 9? Was it 6? Was it something? Nope, it was 14. We were way over. Like, super efficient. 26 miles of range left. Plenty in the tank. Anyway, let's talk about the trip and what we've accomplished today. All right, so this is it. This is the magic device right here that allowed us to successfully charge on a Tesla Supercharger version 3 Supercharger twice today.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I didn't even think about if the chargers were going to be busy.
I didn't either.
Like every time we take a road trip in this car, and I'm always like, I'm on the Electrify America app going, okay, how many stalls are open? How many stalls are broken? Okay, how many people are there? Are we going to have, like, is it going to be a line? Like, we didn't even think about it. We just showed up.
You did.
And we charged with the adapter.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing. Like, this is going to unlock so much more for anybody with a CCS vehicle that can currently use it. Fords, Rivians, hopefully GM soon will be able to use these. But yeah, this is going to be fantastic for everybody that that needs it. But yeah, so just kind of a short road trip, just there and back in one day. Got to see Raleigh for the first time, kind of got to see a little bit of the sights, got to have lunch with a friend, just kind of got things accomplished today. But most importantly, we got to drive the Mach-E on a road trip exclusively on the Tesla Supercharger, not relying on Magic Dock, not relying on any other charging network. And it was as seamless as having a Tesla.
And you weren't concerned at all.
It didn't even dawn on me. It didn't even dawn on me that I should be checking the status of the chargers or like making sure they're working. Like, it didn't even dawn on me.
I didn't either.
It's just so weird. In fact, that woman that we saw today at that one charger, she was like all like, oh, what do I do? And I'm like, I kind of know what that feels like when you show up to like Electrify America and there's like 2 working and, you know, 6 cars there. It's like, that's kind of the same feeling you get, is just like that uncertainty of like, when I get there, will I be able to charge? Like,
yeah.
So, but overall, this is it. This is the magic key. This is the magic key to making everything better. As long as Tesla keeps up with their supercharging network, which they seem to be doing a pretty good job even after everything that's recently occurred. But what do you think?
I think I was impressed with it. That was the only first hiccup. We had to unplug it and plug it in a couple of times.
Yeah, the plug-in charge didn't work at that particular charger or that particular stall. But we just did it on the app.
And
I hit the button and like immediately it started charging the car.
Yeah.
So maybe there's still some bugs in the back end on Tesla's side. I would assume it's Tesla. Well, it could be Ford's side. I don't know. It's hard to say because Ford wants you to do it through their app. So when you plug in charge through Tesla's Superchargers, it goes through the Ford app. Whereas when we activated it through the Tesla app, we went through the Tesla app. It is what it is. Yeah, so...
But it worked when we did it coming back.
The second time.
Yeah.
Plugged it in, it worked.
It worked, no problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I think that's going to be, once they get all the bugs out of the system, that'll clearly get easier and better and whatever the case may be. So, but yeah, very cool. It worked. All right. And that's about it. That's our trip to Raleigh and back one day using the Ford's provided J3400 or NAX or Tesla, whatever you want to call it, to CCS. So very impressed, very happy. Thank you, Ford. Thank you, Tesla. And looking forward to more road trips in this Mach-E, which we probably will have this year. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel for those. I'd like to thank you all again for watching, like you always do. And we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, welcome to the future.
And welcome to Tech Motoring.
We'll see you all very soon.